This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Erica, and Tori. And today we're going to look back at some of our most memorable entertainment stories, like Lori Loughlin, who congratulated a high school grad on a video with other celebrities like Mark Wahlberg and Bob Saget. We all thought it was a little tone deaf, just a tad. Take a look.
This is the weirdest thing to be putting yourself in a senior graduating video when you have been accused of cheating with your senior children. I mean, this whole thing to me seems like I'm being trolled by Lori Loughlin.
Like, stay away from that.
I just feel like this is a troll. We're being trolled by this. This is all a joke. How would she be in a graduation video?
It's because you live in a world with no repercussions. I mean, you think about what they did.
Well, she went to jail.
Yeah, she served her time.
9 days, 11 days.
No,
No, she was in for months. She was in for more.
But think, she permanently diverted somebody else's path forever.
Yep.
Like if Lawson was gonna get that last seat, and some parent, not her, but some parent bought that seat, which it appears has been going on because you saw that movie for a long time.
Yeah, and the Netflix documentary.
Yes, his life is permanently different. He might not end up living in a ditch, but he did not get in that school, and it's going to affect the rest of his life. And for the fact that she can appear in that so cavalierly,
So weird.
it's off-putting to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It just shows that you kind of just don't see that you did anything wrong.
Well, I think
she's
she was doing a
trolling.
favor. I think she was doing a favor for somebody. Obviously, they're fans of Full House if Bob Saget's in
That's
there.
true.
It
Oh,
is
good point, good
definitely
point.
ironic.
That's fair.
But at what point, if you're Lori Loughlin, say, hey, I have to move on with my life. I served my time. What I did was definitely wrong. Everyone in my circle and community was doing the same thing. I'm just the most famous person who got caught.
Well, maybe
and now
don't go
all
into a
eyes are
high school
on me.
graduation senior
I agree.
video. That's
Yeah, but
the
when
dumbest move you
I
could
totally
do.
agree, but when do you get on with your life? You're doing a favor for a friend.
Skip the senior graduation stuff. It's just not up your
Do a
lane.
different favor. I bet she could do a million things to give back.
Put some money
million?
into it.
Maybe not a million, but a
Hey, Lori
handful.
Loughlin, you want to come clean my house?
I think she could be
that. There's
the
other
face
things.
of changing this obviously this exchange of money for seating at a college. She could be the face of reforming that.
Right.
Because this is a thing. Just because we know her, clear. I mean, other rich people. There was a wine merchant in there. Like, this has been going on forever.
Forever.
So can we do so? Like, how long? Where did this
It's
start?
still going on, even though you think it's not. It's still going
Isn't
on.
it
People
crazy
are
that
still
story just
buying
went away?
spots
And
for their kids in some other way.
Completely agree with you. And she got her punishment and she served her time. I just think this was too ironic. You dipped your toe into something. Stay
What if
out of
she-
that lane.
But what if she wasn't meaning for it to get out? What if
It
she's
was.
Oh, that's a good point.
What if I did a video
That's a
for
good
you?
point.
It's Mark Wahlberg. Of course it's going to get out.
But
That's a huge star.
might
Yeah,
not know
but
the
a
mark.
publicist or
Give me
a
a break.
lawyer. What if I made a video for you and you threw me under the bus and pointed out for something stupid I did in the past, and now it's everywhere? And I did that as a favor
I think
for you.
I appreciate that, but I think there were enough celebrities in there to make that a story that would go viral.
You think we'd be doing a story on Bob Saget and Mark Wahlberg?
I'm saying she was
Okay, we got
Point winner.
No. Point loser. Yeah. I'll just say she's allowed to do whatever she wants. I just think again, I'm with the optics. Would I have chosen to do that? No. I would not put myself in the lane of anything to do with graduation when I just got out of jail for cheating on trying to get into college. That's the only thing. I just think it's a bad look.
optics was really bad. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
right. I don't think that's hard to say.
How much she make?
I think it was a favor for a friend.
Oh.
So she didn't make anything.
Okay, well, you're allowed to wish people well.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just saying.
I don't know how
I'm just ready for the next segment because I see it starts with dash Erica.
Oh, yes, I am wearing one. Thank you for asking. Oh, back in the 60s.
I was just like, wow, you are really building the moment.
Erica. And I was like, what are we about to get into?
Back in the 60s, women were burning their bras.
funny.
Well, actress Gillian Anderson just wants to stop wearing hers altogether. It was a teachable moment for Al.
I remember this.
Who had
Oh,
no
yeah.
idea that women's undergarments were so uncomfortable.
I am wearing one.
I don't know anybody who likes to wear a bra. I know maybe it looks
This
nice.
is shocking to me.
Really?
Shock? I had no idea.
You're kidding me.
I'm dead serious. This is how ignorant.
Al, why would you
men-
want to wear wires under your vulnerable
I remember
tissue
I
spots?
asked my girl, I was like, is that uncomfortable? She's like, yes, dummy. Like, I had no idea.
People get home from work and look forward to taking off their bra.
What's the
That's their
sound
first-
you make? What's the sound you
You're
make?
like,
I go,
Is it the first thing you do?
The first thing you do. It doesn't matter about anything else. It's the
I would
first
think
thing
that you get used to it, almost like wearing like a wedding ring or
No,
something.
do you wear a jockstrap every day?
Only on Friday nights.
I'm just saying, it's like that is very uncomfortable. And may I say, maybe it looks good for some women. That's because society has told us that breasts should look perfectly uniform and round. Breasts are different sizes.
We know what breasts are. You're using your hands a lot.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm just saying they're different sizes. They're natural. They're not perfectly round. They're cone-shaped. They're different. They're lovely, and they should be accepted anyway.
And because of that, there's so many uncomfortable contraptions. I know even Kim Kardashian famously said that she took, duct tape and was like taping her boobs up before, I guess, Skims or her line came out with something better than that.
I got a question for y'all really quickly. Okay, if we make a proclamation now, you have to wear a bra for the rest of your life, or you can never wear one again. What are you going with? I'm talking about evening dresses, wherever.
Never again. They got pasties, everything.
I'm super vain, so I will say bra.
Really?
Okay.
But I know how hypocritical I sound, and I'm doing it because I'm in a visual work position, and that's because society tells me to.
No, I'm going no bra.
Good for you, Lindsay. Good for you.
So where's the video with Erica and no bra? Literally, I gotta keep it 100.
So disappointed.
I just didn't understand why Erica's name was in there with no bra, but I did learn. I feel, because I've always wondered, like, do women worry about wearing high heels? Because it seems like you'd be off balance. And I talked to you guys, and you guys are like, yes. I'm so impressed. I know it's painful.
What did Ginger Rogers say? I did everything Fred Astaire did, but I did it backwards and in heels.
That's impressive.
Did you, right when you get home, you take it off or leave it on?
I don't know. It depends. It depends. I'm a 50-50 girl.
Yeah.
You're using your hands a lot, Erica.
Coming up on DBL, we look back and chat with 80s TV icon Patrick Duffy. The Dallas star shares behind-the-scenes secrets from one of the biggest shows in TV history and the true crime story of the double murder of a young couple in an Ohio town. Why aren't police considering any new evidence in this case?
Listen, this past couple of years has been so crazy. Let's express gratitude for this year and all of the amazing gifts that are coming in 2022.
This year, let's try and put aside all of our differences and just be together and really be present in the moment.
From the Showman's Happy Holidays.
From me and my family, we truly want to thank you over the years how much support you've given me and our whole team.
I know the holiday season can be difficult for some, and I just want to let you all know that you're not alone, and I'm wishing you a holiday season full of love and light.
From all of us here at Daily Blast Live, we want to wish you
Happy holidays
Happy holidays.
and a healthy new year.
and my baby said happy holidays.
There's nothing like having a real tree in your home, but it's a bummer when all of those needles end up on your carpet. In fact, there's a whole Christmas tree genetics program dedicated to solving this problem. Researchers say they've identified which genes help trees hold on to their needles, and now they're working on super seeds that could reach growers by 2028. The goal is to have less than 1% of a tree's needles fall off through the Christmas season. And it's not just the needles. Researchers are also working on trees that have a stronger aroma, need less watering, and could even be resistant to climate change, creating fantastic firs that even Charlie Brown would be jealous of.
It is the most wonderful time of the year. DBL is back December 27th with all new episodes every day live. Welcome back to DBL. Our favorite 80s nighttime soap stars brought all the drama, and that was especially true on the hit 80s drama Dallas. Here's another look at our chat with Patrick Duffy, a.k.a. Bobby Ewing. Patrick Duffy, welcome to DBL. Okay, so I have have to tell you, I loved watching you on Bold and the Beautiful, but we're not going to talk about my favorite show. We're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to talk about America's favorite show, Dallas. In fact, our viewers would kill me if I just made it all about Bold and the Beautiful. So the reason why Dallas, obviously, such a big hit, but what I loved about it and what many families can attest to, that it really was, yes you, Patrick, but also the invention of appointment television. I mean, millions of people stayed home every Friday night to tune in. So what was it like being launched into that kind of fame? The whole world knew you.
Well, it was, we can only look at it now in retrospect, and we have all of this technology now that we didn't have when we premiered in what was it, 78, I think. We were pushed into a huge ratings reality that just seemed a normal step up in terms of hit shows. And once we realized we were hit shows, we had Larry Hagman, who was recognized worldwide, and he really set the stage of, this is just normal, everybody, so get used to it. And now we realize just how important it was that the entire viewing world would stop what they're doing on a specific time at a specific night and just stay glued to the television, and then couldn't do anything about it for 7 more days.
Your dirty deals might just get somebody killed one of these days.
I'm sure everybody always asks you what's the best part about being or playing, Bobby Ewing, and I want to know that answer. But what was the worst part? Was there a downside?
In the very beginning, there was a downside. The show became, all about good versus evil, etc., on various levels, of course. And I was always the good guy, which I really enjoyed doing. But that's a hard character to write for in a very interesting and attention-captivating way. It was great to write for JR or Sue Ellen guzzling down her booze, or right. Little Lucy sleeping with everybody but the family, tractor. To this day, I don't wake up or go to sleep not being grateful that Dallas existed in my life.
Wow. Listen, it's so nice to hear the gratitude, considering what a gift it was. A gift. Now, when you were in it, though, what was the best part of playing Bobby? Was it just the rock star status? What was it?
It's having your name on a parking place right in front of the stage door.
That sounds like a dream. Okay, so let's talk about season 9 of Dallas, because that was AKA the dream year. Your character returned to the show right in that famous shower scene after the whole world thought that you had died. So I gotta know, what did you really think of that plot twist?
Well, I've had to defend it, obviously. Our audience, our rabid, devoted fans, devoted an entire year emotionally to what they thought was the new incarnation of Dallas, and to then find out that none of it counted. I understood their frustration. So Larry called me, and I picked up a message. His voice was on there, and he just said, "Patrick, Larry, come out to Malibu, let's get drunk, I want to talk to you." And that's how that basically, the only part that surprised me was that he wanted to talk to me. And I turned to my wife and I said, they're going to ask me back on the show. Wow. And I just knew instinctually. And her immediate reaction was, well, there's no way they can do that unless the whole last year was a dream.
Wow.
And that she did not give them the idea, but Leonard Katzman had the same idea, and he then told me when I went to have a meeting with him. But that was the only way to erase, without getting into a huge half a year of solving that problem, getting rid of that character, et cetera, et cetera. At that moment, we went right back to what the story plot line was the day that Bobby died, and he just didn't die then. And that was the whole thing.
I wanted to, just congratulate on your relationship with Linda Pearl. And of course, our viewers right now know her as Fonzie's girlfriend from Happy Days.
About a year ago, at one of these celebrity auction signing things that goes on, Linda Pearl comes up. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I went, this is a very interesting woman, but nothing happened. I got a film in Canada, went to Canada in March. It was shut down before we started. I flew back to my home in Oregon. We started texting again, and it became once a week, and it became a couple of times a week. And then we thought, well, you want to do FaceTime? We got to know each other so well. And I was in Oregon, she lives in Colorado Springs. And at one point, I just thought, well, it's either now or never. I got to figure out if this is real or not. I jumped in the car and drove 23 hours and ended up at her doorstep, and I haven't left.
Oh my gosh, Patrick.
Yeah.
That is the story.
We had never hugged or anything. Obviously, there was a commitment because I was there, but we didn't know what to do. And I finally said, "May I kiss you?"
Stop it.
And that's it.
I can't. This is a Hallmark movie. I feel like you just read me a script, and I love myself some Hallmark movies. In fact, you guys are so close. Our studio here is here in Colorado. After the pandemic, I would love, we need to get you both on the show after the pandemic, right here in studio. We're in Denver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What a beautiful story. Thank you so much, Patrick, for taking the time and for just letting us into your world. I love how transparent you are. It just goes to show why so many people absolutely adore you. And we'll be right back. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Okay. You're welcome.
Last month, Jacob Chansley, better known as the QAnon shaman, was sentenced to 41 months in prison for his role in the January 6th insurrection. Chansley pleaded guilty to a felony obstruction charge. Soon after, Verify viewer Kathy asked, can some people convicted of felonies from the January 6th insurrection still vote? So Kathy, let's verify. Our sources are the National Conference of State Legislatures, the American Civil Liberties Union, and the Campaign Legal Center. While the right to vote is overseen by both federal and state governments, only states have rules restricting felons from the ballot box. The ACLU estimates nearly 6 million Americans have lost their right to vote because of a criminal conviction. A lot of it comes down to where the person lives. The NCLS found 48 states disenfranchise felons while in prison. 37 automatically restore their right to vote once felons are released or their sentences are completed. 11 others require additional action to restore voting rights. However, Maine, Vermont, Puerto Rico, and D.C. allow everyone to vote, including inmates. So, it's true. Some people convicted of felonies from the January 6th insurrection can still vote if they live in a state that allows them to do so, and most others will eventually be allowed to vote again. The CLC also notes most states only restrict the voting rights of people convicted of felonies. Roughly 3/4 of people who were convicted in the January 6th insurrection pleaded guilty to misdemeanors. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email.
Welcome back to DBL. Left for dead in their own home, a young couple's grisly homicide still haunt Holland, Ohio to this day. We're taking you back to that horrific night and the murder that shook a suburb in today's True Crime Chronicles.
My son is in the basement tied up at his house. I just saw him through the window. The police were out here earlier and did absolutely nothing.
Okay, all right, we'll get them out there.
Get them cops out here. I told them earlier and they weren't listening to me.
You need to calm down. We'll get them out there. But yelling at me is
unconscious. They're unconscious, ma'am.
On January 30th, 2011, 21-year-old Johnny Clark and 20-year-old Lisa Straub are found in their parents' home on the kitchen floor, their arms bound behind their backs, plastic bags duct taped over their heads.
Have you heard of another case in this area where someone was killed in the same manner?
To my knowledge, no. I haven't. That specific MO, we haven't had anything like that ourselves.
Investigators search the house, but no evidence stands out except for one cigarette butt, a tiny piece of evidence that breaks the case wide open.
You tell me why your DNA was in my crime scene.
Police arrest and charge Samuel Todd Williams for the two murders. However, the cigarette butt may not be the smoking gun investigators hoped for.
I know that I was at the Bottom Line bar watching the Pro Bowl with a few other people.
We were at the Bottom Line watching the football games with his cousin Larry House, and it was his cousin's 21st birthday. He was with me that night. Cameo, I don't know where Cameo was.
That's enough. What if I tell you that you're not on the video with the bottom line on that night?
What do you mean?
The bottom line has video.
Right.
So you or Sam are not on that video.
The detectives do not have video from the bar. And phone records show that Williams made a call to Madrid at 10:27 p.m. that night. The call pinged off of a tower near the Bottom Line Bar, a 30-minute drive from the crime scene. Johnny and Lisa were last heard from at 10:41 p.m.
And you hear, was it, bro, what are you doing? Or was it,
No.
bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, just like
Bro! Did he sound like he knew them people?
That's why I said I think that whoever did it, he knew.
Except for the cigarette butt with his DNA and several sets of unknown DNA, no evidence at the crime scene directly points to Williams or anyone else.
Don't know what you guys are talking about.
How did your DNA get in there then, Sam?
I have no idea.
I have no explanation. I know I did not place that there.
But a jury disagrees. On July 27th, 2012, the court finds Samuel Todd Williams guilty of killing Johnny Clark and Lisa Straub. The judge gives him 2 life sentences with no chance of parole.
And even though there are still questions about his guilt, police aren't looking into any new evidence. We couldn't believe it, so we talked to Brian Duggar, who covered the story, and take a look at what he had to say.
Brian, thank you so much for being here. I just want to straight up ask you, why did you investigate a 10-year-old murder? What started you on this path?
Yeah, I've been in the Toledo area since 1998. And whenever you're in a particular community for that long a time, there's always, that certain crime that just kind of sticks out in your mind. And that was the case with this murder for me.
All right, I'm going to ask a question that anybody that's followed the story wants to ask, and that's what is stopping the sheriff's office from investigating the new evidence?
We know that there were 5, 6, maybe even 4 unknown sets of DNA in that house, and it didn't make sense to me why they didn't want to investigate, but one of the goals of this story was to get them to look at the case again, and particularly at that DNA, and I think we've been able to do that.
Now, I'm going to ask a pretty direct question here, and this is just your opinion. Do you think Sam Williams is innocent?
I think there's a lot of question about Sam Williams' guilt. I mean, he's maintained that he's been innocent for, 10 years now, and I think with my investigation, I was able to paint a pretty good timeline for him, that he was 20, 30 minutes away at the time that the murder happened. I was able to tell that through phone records, through witness statements. So I think there's certainly question, but the big hurdle for him to overcome is how does his cigarette with his DNA on it end up in a house that he said he was never in?
Right, it's that one cigarette butt. It's so interesting. So we've covered the broad strokes of the case here on the show, but trust me, there is so much more to it. So if you'd like to get those details, go to WTOL11.com. You can also check out Brian's full uncut interview with Sam Williams on WTOL's YouTube channel. We've also covered Johnny and Lisa's murder on our True Crime Chronicles podcast, which you can find online as well. Thank you, Brian, for just sticking with this case. I think it's people like you that'll bring justice. So thank you so much for doing that. We'll be right back.
That sound means it's time to verify. Are you hot-natured or cold-blooded? It's quite interesting how 2 people can be in the same environment for the same period of time, and one will be taking off layers while the other is reaching for a sweater and space heater.
It's that time of year again. It's cold, like really cold. But it's not as cold as it is where I'm from, which is New Jersey. I thought that the warmer winters would feel a little better. They don't. It's still freezing. My dad says when I moved from somewhere cold to somewhere warm, my blood thinned. Is that true?
To verify, I consulted the Mayo Clinic and heard from Dr. PJ Miller, assistant professor of hematology and oncology at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. They conclude the claim is false.
So this is actually what we'd refer to as an old wives' tale, meaning there is no significant medical evidence behind this question that actually happens. But even with saying that, that is something that a lot of people do experience temperature differently when moving from a northern climate to a southern climate. And a lot of that just has to do with the perception and getting used to a warmer climate or getting used to a colder climate.
That said, your blood pressure can change with climate. Mayo Clinic found blood pressure is generally higher in the winter and lower in the summer. Low temperatures cause blood vessels to narrow, so your blood needs more pressure to move through the thinner veins and arteries. That doesn't mean your blood thickness is changing, even though it's reasonable for you to think so.
I myself grew up in New England, and then I actually lived in the Mid-Atlantic for a while before living in a tropical climate for a couple years. And now I live in North Carolina. And I do remember the first time that I traveled from the tropical climate back to a New England winter and remembering how really cold that winter was. But that, again, was all perception.
So in conclusion, we verified Tom's claim is false. No, your blood does not thin moving from a warmer climate to a colder one or vice versa. Maybe you're not properly dressed for it either. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
A decision on the Supreme Court's latest abortion case is not expected for months, but if the conservative majority agrees with Mississippi's law, it would almost immediately have a major impact on a huge part of the country. 21 states could almost immediately ban or curtail access to abortions if the Supreme Court chooses to overturn or weaken Roe v. Wade. 12 states have so-called trigger laws that go into effect if Roe v. Wade is overturned or weakened. Most would ban abortion outright, while some include limited exceptions. For instance, back in June, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a new law that would almost immediately outlaw abortions and threaten doctors who perform them with life in prison or a $100,000 fine. And it's not just trigger laws. Another 9 states will have pre-Roe abortion bans that could once again become enforceable if Roe v. Wade is struck down. The court isn't expected to release their final ruling until this summer.
We have one more viewer question before we go. This one's for Erica. Okay, Erica, Julia wants to know, where is the next place on your travel bucket list?
Ooh, definitely Bali. Definitely Bali. I'm trying to go to Bali for 3 months, y'all.
Okay. All right.
Put it out in the universe.
Put it out there.
Do the show from there.
Every day. We'll see you again, same time, same place. Bye, guys.